Writing your book is the easy part. Promoting your book so readers can find and purchase it is the hard part. Welcome to the Author Chat Show, hosted by author-publisher Linda D. Brown. Follow us at www.facebook.com/author chat. And to contact the show to promote your book, contact me at theauthorchatshow@gmail.com. Stay tuned and listen to today's show.
I read CAT scans and ultrasounds and MRIs, and that's kind of the boring part of my life. But so that's my training.
Absolutely. So you decided to spice it up a little bit by writing books. You actually have several titles out. Tell us a little bit about your writing journey. When did you get started?
Well, I got started back in about 2003 in New Orleans when I was living there. And there's a very kind of textured, very fun jazz club called the Funky Button. It was made famous by Buddy Bolden, who was the originator of jazz, as well as Louis Armstrong at the turn of the last century. And it was a place in the French Quarter, on the edge of the French Quarter, very kind of a smoky dive, kind of a groovy place. And one night I was there actually with a great friend of our friend, Tracy Shanklin, and we were there enjoying the music, and I thought it would be a great setting for murder mystery. And so my friend Matt Dillon encouraged me to write something, and I went home that night and started out kind of the beginnings of what turned out to be the first book. And I developed a character, Luke Jacobs, who is a African-American private eye who is navigating some waters of detective mysteries in Louisiana, kind of like a modern-day Sherlock Holmes, but not so, rigid in his posturing.
Exactly. Do you read any of, is it Walter Rawlings?
Read some of that. Yeah, read some Mosley.
Mosley. Mosley, thank you.
He's the character, and I read some Chester Himes, who was an African-American writer at the turn of the century, early 1900s, 20th century rather, and Raymond Chandler, and kind of the standard mainstream Agatha Christie type detective mystery writers.
Okay. Then you switched genres, so you went from murder mysteries to children's books. So how did that happen?
Yeah, actually that happened kind of serendipitously. I have a younger son, and he was in late kindergarten. His teacher wasn't very supportive of his learning. So I actually took off from my job and to spend some time with him, and he won a large dragon at a festival, and he decided to name it Griffin just out of the blue. And one day he said, "Daddy, I want to write a book like you did." So he and I kind of put together storylines and found a common theme of not lying to parents and wanting to go strange places that were not very good for kids of a young age. So we decided to do in the first book, which is entitled Griffin the Dragon and the Jump House, discuss on kind of young people's terms about not lying to parents. So it became kind of as a father-son project that really was just not even going to be a book. It was just something we did together, and sent it to someone to read it, and they liked it. And he's a pretty substantial writer himself, Lolis Eli. He's written several books. He used to write for Treme, the television show, as well as Hell on Wheels. He writes now for the TNT show.
Okay.
TNT. And I had some other people look at it, and we were looking around for an illustrator, and I found a friend of mine who practices capoeira, which is a martial art. So he did the kind of initial graphics for the first book.
Oh, great. Yeah, the illustrations in Griffin the Dragon and How to Tame a Bully are absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, we found that individual through a guy by the name of Monty Ross, who was a Spike Lee producer. He produced these first 15 movies. And Monty looked at the project and liked it and suggested that we get Simi Williams, who's a brilliant illustrator from Midwest. And Simi came on board to give us the kind of new look and bring it kind of more of an animation cartoon type of look.
Exactly. And so since you do have it as a series, Do you have any plans to take it a step further? Maybe try to turn it into some type of animated cartoon?
Yeah, that's something that we're actively doing. It's funny that you mentioned that. Monty and I have put together the term in the business, from what I understand, is a show Bible, which is
Hmm.
an outline of the main characters, secondary characters, tertiary characters, and then storylines. So we've actually outlined 7 seasons of 11 episodes per season, 77 shows, to take these characters that are Griffin the Dragon, a hyena, and a little boy who are friends.
Okay.
My son Joshua wanted to bring on a female voice. He said, "Dad, for the next book, we're going to have to bring in a girl." So we brought in Alexandria,
Okay.
female kind of flavor, kind of groovy, kind of cool, tomboy type, but real sensitive type of girl who stands up for herself. So that element, the four of them are going to kind of go through and navigate the waters of different topics for kids, like bullying.
Hmm.
One book was about learning how to play chess. Another book was about eating healthy.
Hmm.
And so we've outlined several seasons, and we're in the process of putting together all the types of things that go into that. Concept budgets,
Okay.
going to put a pitch together.
Exactly. Awesome, awesome. And for viewers that are tuning in this evening, give us a brief synopsis on the How to Tame Your Bully. Tell us a little bit without giving it away what this book is
Now,
about.
I can give it away. It's pretty straightforward. The friends, which actually are Alexander, or actually Griffin the Dragon, Cattails, and the Hyena Jackson are playing. It's the last day of school, and they're out on the playground. And then Alexandra comes up, and they want to kind of say, "What are we going to do this summer for entertainment? What are we going to do for fun?" And then they're on the playground having a kind of a nice day, and then a big bully comes up, and the bully is messing with them. He's pushing them around, and so they avoid him and avoid him and they avoid him, and he kind of gets in the way. And Griffin, as a dragon, accidentally burps and singes the bully's shoes. So the bully kind of walks away, kind of hurt. And during this whole time, he starts jumping up and down, saying, "I'm the great singer," like ninja, but singeing people.
Exactly. Right.
His father sees this because he's waiting for him by the car, and he doesn't appreciate the over celebration of a little victory. So he
Hmm.
puts him on a 3-week probation. So it's like kind of like the first day of summer, you got to be put on probation at home. So then the friends, Alexandria and Cattails, the boy, and Griff and Jackson, go and visit Griffin at his home while he's on probation, and they kind of feeling like eyes to the floor, like, "We're sorry for messing up your summer." And so, as it turns out, Griffin has embraced the bully, and the bully's over in the corner. They're playing games together.
Oh,
So I tamed the bully by making him my friend.
absolutely.
The way it turns out is that the bully really couldn't read, so he felt uncomfortable
Hmm.
with himself. And so
Hmm.
it kind of wraps it up with the fact that, a bully needs things too that we have to perhaps recognize on a certain level.
Hmm.
It's kind of a mixed message. Kind of stand up for yourself if you can, and also understand perspectives. So that's kind of how we structured it loosely.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm also working because I have a children's book out, working
Okay.
on a bully book because I think it's such a very important topic, and it's so funny. So I just wanted to disclose that. So
What's the book
about.
about?
Well,
What's,
mine is based on my grandson who is now 6 years old. His first book is Damien's New Bike, and it talks about teaching him the values of sharing.
uh,
Book two will be Damien and the Bully, and it also talks about how to deal with a bully, but also, like you mentioned, to try to look at the other side. Why is it that the bully is acting out? There's always usually some pain behind that. And that's one thing that we're going to explore in my book.
Very good. Is that coming out soon, or is it out?
Well, I hope to start working on that next month in November.
Okay.
I did a Indiegogo fundraiser to raise the funds to go ahead and get started with that book. So I definitely have to get that book out there.
Okay. Well, very good. I like to hear that. I think I've enjoyed this process of segueing out of being a doctor to writing, and it's always refreshing to hear people who both read and people who write and want to write. And of course,
Exactly.
anyway, on certain levels, and That's good to hear.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. And like you said, it's so great being able to do it now. I think it's just such a great time for somebody that has always had a book inside of them and weren't quite sure how to get started, or if they've actually submitted their books to a couple of literary agents and didn't quite get the response that they were looking for. Now is the time to sit back and actually, go ahead and publish the book yourself. So with being said, did you self-publish or did you go through a traditional publisher with your book?
I did the first time. I'm on an interview, baby. I'm on an interview, literally.
Tell her we heard her.
A costume for tomorrow. Anyway, so the first book, I found a publisher, Rosie Milligan, who was an agent and a publisher together. Dr. Rosie, she's in Los Angeles. So she helped me be both an agent and a publisher. And I found another publisher in New York City, agent, who helped me kind of finish the second series of books. But it was a combination, it was a hybrid of self-publishing and finding sensitive agents, because I kind of find that some of the agents, if you aren't a member of a certain level of writers, like if you haven't written for newspapers, if you don't have a master's in fine arts, they kind of discourage even reading what you have. I didn't let that deter me. I just kind of did it, and the lady Amanda Hawking did a great job several years ago of publishing her books.
Right.
For 99 cents, her self-published Vamp Chronicles, and she was like a triple millionaire, and after that she got a good book deal.
Exactly.
With ebooks and the things of that nature, people are encouraged. It's kind of like the old adage of just opening your own business.
Right.
So the old business, owning your business, is kind of the new look of book publishing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful look. We wear it well.
That's the one thing. I try to keep it light and not too serious, and kind of pleasurable for those who, I've had some good blessings of some reviews from mommy bloggers that have read them. And the chess book, I got a quote from Wynton Marsalis gave me a quote because he's a chess fan.
Oh, okay.
Actor Wendell Pierce gave me another kind of celebrity quote for one of the first ones. And
Okay.
Calling in favors. College buddy of mine.
Absolutely.
James Worthy, ex-Laker, gave me a quote for one of the books.
That's awesome.
James has got kind of a deep voice, so he kind of sees himself being one of the characters in the animation series. So.
Okay. Well, that's definitely something that if you would like for them to invest in the project, that you can definitely offer them as an incentive. We use your voice if you invest in the project. Also want to encourage you, Dr. Mass, to check out Amazon Studios. Are you familiar with Amazon Studios?
No. What is that?
Oh, go to AmazonStudios.com. What they do is they actually help people that are interested in doing production for either cartoons, animations. And once you get a project up and going, they actually put it, it's available on their, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you get access to the Amazon Instant Video. And so a lot of their new series are available on the Instant Prime videos.
I'm a member of Instant Prime Videos, where you can rent movies and get movies.
Absolutely. You can download it.
Will they help you develop projects as well?
Absolutely. And then you can actually turn around and sell them yourself in either downloadable format or either as a CD or DVD.
Actual motion picture.
I highly recommend that you check out Amazon Studios
to help you get it in place, because Monty Ross and I were kind of thinking about how best to get either a trailer or something out for investors to look at.
Exactly. Well, please check that out. I'm trying to get a lot of people of color to look into that, because now is the time for us to get our projects out there.
One statistic that I saw last week was that African American females between the ages of 18 and 45 or 50 are the most prolific readers as a group.
Absolutely.
And Tyler Perry, of course, has tapped into a certain market of people who have traditionally been ignored.
Right.
But that's good to hear. So when we're off, later on tonight or tomorrow, email me that data.
I will email you. I will email you the link. Absolutely, because I think it's definitely something you want to look into. I looked into it briefly with my children's book, and we'll probably go back to look at it once I get some more projects out of the way. But I think you're pretty much ready to go. So this might be something you guys can jump on ASAP.
I hope so.
Okay. Now, before we let you go, because believe it or not, we're almost down to our last couple of minutes. Now, the book is available. The book again is called Griffin the Dragon and How to Tame a Bully, and we have it available in what formats?
It's actually currently it's in ebook format on
Okay.
Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, iTunes,
Mm-hmm.
Kobo Books, Google Play Books, any ebook readers distributed worldwide that way. And then they've got a print on demand that the publisher is trying to get me to do and go forward with. I have the good fortune, I want to participate in two book festivals coming up. One is in New Orleans called wordsandmusic.org in November.
Okay.
The other is the Miami Book Festival International. I'm
Oh,
kind of geared up to get a set of hard copy books ready for those festivals, but the detective stuff is all available on both ebooks and hard copies. But the
awesome.
children's books, we kind of target it as a strategy just to make them as e-reader books. And currently, until we get a big investor, we're going to have to hold off on the hard copy versions of a color full print book because I want to make sure
Exactly.
it's the right look
Mm-hmm.
before I got it out there in that capacity. But the one thing interesting about, and I forgot to mention, is that with Griffin the Dragon and How to Tame a Bully, we did it in two languages,
Oh,
English and Spanish. So
great.
the first paragraph is in English and the second paragraph in Espanol for bilingual kind of capacity.
Awesome, awesome. And you know, that's a market that a lot of people forget about. Again, a very, very lucrative market to make sure that that book is available in languages that other people can read and understand and enjoy and share. And
We've done that.
oh, absolutely. And what about an audiobook? Are you in the works with doing an audiobook for the
My
series?
latest detective fiction, Mardi Gras Madness, is an audiobook. It's at audible.com.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mardi Gras Madness is available. And now the Griffin books, glad you mentioned that because, as I mentioned, some of my buddies who are celebrities have approached me about being different characters, but I should just have maybe James Worthy or Wendell read one of the books. Because
Right.
the audio book that I have for Mardi Gras Madness was done by a selection of people that they had available and ebook it for me to choose from audible.com.
Okay.
I had to listen to 6 or 7 different voices to get who I wanted to be the reader. But now that you mention that, I need to approach someone that I know to do the Audible book. That's a good idea
Absolutely.
for the children's books.
Exactly, exactly. Now, I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but Audibles was purchased by Amazon.com
Okay.
maybe a year or so ago. And so to do your audiobook, they have a website called Audiobook Exchange or ACX.com. So,
Okay.
and Neil Gaiman, who is a huge author, not only is he a very prolific author in children's books and adult books, but he's also an audiobook narrator for ACX.
Okay.
So I think that's really, and I think you could probably find some, especially since you're looking into, you've got friends in the marketplace, they could probably hook up with one of the studios there and go ahead and record your audiobook for you.
Okay.
That's definitely something you want to
That's
look at.
a long way towards what we want to get done as well. Is letting people maybe hear,
Exactly.
maybe do some flash of the trying to figure out how with the Audible book with the color and the frames how that would work. But there's probably a lot of different ways of doing it. Like still.
Well, again, this is why I do what I do. Once that book is available and the audio book is available on Amazon, Dr. Mask,
Uh,
what I did with my children's book, I did they have a program on Amazon. I think it's the Kindle Match. Well, I can actually connect my audiobook to my Kindle book. So
okay.
and then you get a reduced price for the audiobook, and then that way while the children are reading the audiobook on their Kindle, they can also listen to it with
Oh,
the
okay.
exactly. And then that way you're
Now
selling.
books and I haven't turned on that button. That may be available, huh?
It's very simple to do. Like you said, you're basically just turning on a button. You're just
You
agreeing to allow them, and then you're selling two of your formats at one time. It's a great thing, and I also do that with my fiction books.
How have you found the best way to market? Because I've done zero marketing and no advertising other than our great friend Tracy Shanklin, who
Right.
other than that, how would I even go about letting people know about the book? I mean, I do a little Facebook stuff, but that's mostly to a select group of friends. But
I am so glad you asked that. I have a wonderful book, and I don't know if we discussed this or not, but I released a book about 7 months ago called The Author Chat Guide to Promoting Your Book on a Shoestring Budget.
okay,
And what I did with this book is I listed all of the author service providers and all of the free sites that will allow you to actually talk about your book and post your book on their websites. This book is available on Amazon.com. It's available
okay,
in Barnes & Noble. It's $9.99. You can download it, and seriously, I have the clickable links in there. That means that you can go right in there. If you see somebody, like I'm in there, there's a young lady named Paulette Harper that does right now virtual book tours. I currently have book 3 of my Christian fiction series, Invisible Enemy series, on a virtual book tour right now as we speak, which means it's actually being posted on, I think she has been on like maybe 10 different blogs for just this 1 week.
okay.
That way it's just giving you great exposure for your books.
I'll get that tonight. I mean, again, when we get off this, you and I email each other and give me the mentioning, and I'll get your book tonight because I do want to get some stuff rolling.
Absolutely. I also have a really good friend. She's a public relations officer. Actually, she has her own company, and she's just been a godsend to me, and we've been doing some things together. I'm going to send you her name as well. She's in the Houston area, and I think she can also help you get your book where you need it to be.
Ideally, I have a shoestring budget, but ideally, I like to turn the book that you have over to her and let her even do that legwork, because I spent all day reading films and coaching soccer. So very good. It's a great, yeah.
We'll get you those links, and thank you so much for coming on the show. Is there anything you'd like to leave with our listening audience before we let you go?
Well, I like to leave another concept of our great friend Tracy Shanklin, who put us in touch with each other, and it just goes to show you how connections happen, that you know this person and this person helps. So don't ever forget who your friends have been and are. That's about the only thing I can really say, because that's what everything is about.
Absolutely. It's all about making those connections. Well, Dr. Mass, it's been an absolute pleasure to finally see you. Like you said, we were actually connected.
Everybody knows it's going to be audio. I mean, video.
I did send you that email.
Yeah, I would have addressed, but
well, to be honest with you, since we did have so many technical difficulties, if you'd like to reschedule this for a later time and do this again, we can do that again totally free of charge.
I'll get some books behind me, and I'll get a suit, tie.
Exactly. So why don't we plan on doing that? Because I also like to tell people to make sure you have copies of your book so you can hold it up. So we'll just go ahead and do this again.
Sure.
Now you've kind of got the hang of it. I'll go ahead and send you the information, and maybe check back with you in maybe a week or so, and see where things are going with you in the book. How's that?
That sounds great.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for coming on the show. You enjoy the rest of your evening.
Grateful.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, that was author Ken Mass, Dr. Ken Mass. Dr. Mass is the author of several books. You can find all of his books on Amazon.com. And again, this book that we were discussing is called Griffin the Dragon and How to Tame a Bully. The book is available in ebooks, all of the ebook formats, so you definitely want to check this out. We're going to go ahead and see what we can do to get that book in paperback form and also in that audio book. Thank you so much for joining us for today's show. I do apologize about the technical difficulties that we experienced earlier, but we're going to definitely go ahead and have him back on the show and just kind of redo this. So enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you so much for joining us on the Author Chat Show. Good night.